Director, Amateur Scouting, Texas Rangers, Executive Vice President and General Manager Chris Young, Kumar Rocker, and Kumar's representative Scott Morris. And to start us off, I will turn it over to Chris.
Thank you, John. Thank you all for being here today on a very exciting day for the Texas Rangers for a number of reasons. We're extremely excited to welcome our first-round draft pick, Kumar Rocker, his parents, Lou and Tracy, and his grandparents, George and Evelyn, to the Texas Rangers family. When we select a player, there are a number of factors that weigh into our decision-making process. It starts with the talent. I don't think we need to spend a ton of time on how talented Kumar Rocker is as a pitcher. I think his amateur accomplishments speak for themselves. What separates Kumar beyond the talent are the intangibles and the winning competitive spirit he brings every day. Kumar is beloved by teammates and coaches alike, inspiring a winning mentality and a culture in his team. We're thrilled not only about the talent that Kumar has and what we think he'll become as a pitcher, but the impact he's going to make on our organization through his intangibles. In terms of planning for the remainder of the season, I want to address that now. I'm sure it'll come up in questions, but Kumar is going to finish out today, stay here for a few days, and then head out to Arizona to join his draft class and begin a normal build-up for the fall with the goal of pitching in instructional league. I'm going to turn it over to Kip to say a few more things about the scouting, everything that went into Kumar. But again, this is a very special day for our organization, very special day for Kumar and his family, and we're thrilled that everyone's here to celebrate with us.
Yeah, thanks, UI. Yeah, no, it's been a long journey for us, and I'm sure for Kumar also, but we're totally excited to bring him and his family into our family here with the Texas Rangers, and just excited. I know, our scouts couldn't be more excited in the work we've put in through all the years, going back probably till high school, watching him and through all the years, and just excited to be able to have a talent for one. But what separates Kumar from me is even just getting around him here the last week or so, what kind of person he is, what kind of competitor he is, and it's going to be a great fit for us moving forward. And I know he's going to be carrying a couple of championship rings for us moving forward, but we're real excited about it. And just want to introduce Kumar Rocker, the new Texas Ranger.
I want you to turn around and show your dad. How's it feel? Good. Looks good on you. It's your colors.
Is that 80 is scouting, right?
That's right.
What's the number he picked?
Okay, now we will open it for questions. So raise your hand, wait for the mic. Emily?
Okay. Kumar, what did you learn about yourself over the last year?
Every day is a battle, really, and just getting through it and putting as much detail as you can into your work. Caring about the people around you, being kind to people, and just taking it day by day is what I learned.
What else? Brad?
Hi, Kumar. I talked to Coach Lasley and also Tim, and both of them called you the best team player they've ever coached. And since your dad coaches a team sport, I wondered how much of that you might attribute to being around him when he was coaching and growing up with him.
Right. It contributed a lot. Since I was about 9, I've been in every SEC locker room, and just learning off the players like Cam Newton, meeting Chris Johnson at the Titans, little things like that, seeing how those guys operate has changed a lot and made me the person I am today.
Or if you want to address this as well, Chris, if you could take it through kind of the Rangers' perspective on how you want to build them up and the process going forward. And Kumar, how anxious are you to actually pitch in a game for a not a big league team, but just for a professional franchise that you're affiliated with?
I'm really excited. You know, getting to this process it's the starting line. So, kind of pitching out there and being free a little bit, being yourself. It's a great step in the right direction.
Evan, in terms of the plan, I think we'll go through a similar onboarding with all our draft picks, go out to Arizona, get familiar with the organization, do a number of assessments, make sure each player is physically ready to go, and then start building out a program based upon those assessments and what the player has been doing over the past several weeks or months, and then very standard on-ramp for us, with the goal of being ready to go by instructional league.
Kumar, what has Jack told you about the Rangers organization and his experience thus far?
Yeah, he said nothing but good things, and Jack's an incredible resource as well. So, nothing but great things about the Rangers.
Hot mic.
Jeff, mainly because it's standard practice that we're using right now in terms of normal build-up. Kumar pitched through the beginning of July. He's had several weeks off. We want to make sure that we do our due diligence in terms of, with all our players, not specific to Kumar, but with everybody in terms of making sure physically they're ready for the demands of a pro schedule. And I think it's a familiarization for us with the player, and then with the player in terms of the organization as well. It's a partnership that we're building here, and I think that the goal is that we're putting ourselves in the best position for a very strong 2023 season for Kumar and everybody in our 2022 draft class.
So, Chris, just for clarification, because a few years ago, like I think 16 and 18, this team used a different process with draft picks, and all the pitchers went to Arizona, did not pitch, got ready for the instructional league. Is that the same process that you're using with all your pitching picks this year, or is it different for different guys? Just because?
No, with our our main draft class this year, we're taking this procedure. I think that instructional league is a very fair expectation, and again, the 2023 season is the most important moving forward, and that's what we're geared towards in terms of getting all of our players ready.
Other questions? Back to Jeff.
Definitely the second thing you said. It's all the pressure is gone right now, and I'm happy to be number 3 and happy to move forward too.
Hey, Kumar. So this is the third time you've been drafted, right? I was curious, the first time back in 2018, and you chose to go to Vanderbilt instead of let teams know that you would be available to pitch in pro ball. And I was just kind of curious your thought process then, and what was the decision-making process to go ahead and go to Vanderbilt instead of into pro ball out of high school?
Main focus was education. That was the priority coming out of there, and my athletic ability gave me the option to get a college scholarship. So to do that, get that out the way, to move to pro ball, is I'm right on track.
And then I don't know if you guys can answer this, but now contracts have been signed. It's right behind us. Is there any further enlightenment that you can give us on what the issue was with the shoulder last year?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I said, sorry, now that all the contracts have been signed and everything's official and done, is there any further enlightenment that you guys can give us as to what the shoulder issue was last year?
Well, I think, moving forward is that a lot of what goes on in a draft is there's a performance evaluation and then there's a medical evaluation. And medical evaluations are often very independent to each of the 30 teams. And so often you look at situations and you get an opinion rendered, and that doesn't necessarily mean that the opinions are of the other 29 teams, but in the draft process, you really have to take the opinion of the team that drafted. And in our situation, Kumar has been extraordinary and called the next day and said, let's go. And what can we do? And spent a whole year of getting his body in extraordinary shape, doing all the things necessary to allow him to perform at the levels that he performs, so that in the evaluation of the 2022 draft, the teams got to look, I think, at a more physically mature and obviously got to grade Kumar on a performance and physical evaluation. And obviously the Rangers evaluation was something that was very different than what went on in 21.
Why the secrecy, though? If the contract's signed, why can't it be told what exactly he had done?
I think there's nothing done. Are you talking about done in regard to what? Well, I think the point of it is that Kumar did not have a pitching necessary scope. He had something that was done to really assure all involved that his path was one where he was physically capable of being a major league pitcher. And certainly from Kumar's point of view and what he needed to go forward to have clarity, that was really, because no physician told us that he needed surgery. It was just really an evaluation of what was there. And we're certainly glad we did it, because it revealed everything that we'd hoped for, that he is pitching capable and that he has a very healthy outlook. And then it allowed, of course, when the Rangers did draft him, it allowed their fine medical staff to have all of the information they needed to make an assessment and have all the records necessary for that assessment, so they could be thorough in their process. So it really turned out to be a way of answering any kind of questions that a major league team would have, and we wanted to make sure, and Kumar made that decision to make sure they would have it. And about the best way you can get that is having a lot more than an MRI, is to have something where actually from looking internally to know what's going on.
Up that I had, Kip and Chris, how far back were you guys convinced medically that if he was available, he was yours? How far back in the process?
Well, in terms of the 2022 draft, yeah, I think the biggest thing we needed to see was Kumar pitching healthy. And once our scouts, Kip and his team, did a tremendous job they were at every one of Kumar's games in Albany, and the reports we got were tremendous. I think it was a combination of what they had seen in high school, in terms of how free and easy he was, combined with the pitchability that he had at Vanderbilt, and then understanding the medical information that was provided to all 30 clubs, and certainly the opinion of our orthopedic surgeon, team doctor, Keith Meister. We've had a comfort level going into the draft in terms of the performance and the medicals that Kumar was in a great spot. And then beyond that, I think in the post-draft physical assessment that we have done, we're even more confident in where he is and what his future is going to look like.
Other questions?
Kumar, how do you feel being in an organization with Jack again, and what clicked with you two at Vanderbilt that you hope to bring here?
I'm incredibly excited, but like I said earlier, he's an incredible resource. That guy brings a pro aspect to the game on and off the field. He's got a lot of knowledge up there. And I'm excited to have the chemistry again with him, you know what I'm saying, in the rotation, whatever it may be, but win ball games, of course, too.
So one of the things that I saw written about you this year was that you dropped your arm slot just a little bit. I was curious whose idea that was and what benefit that had for you pitching this year.
That was my idea, and just more natural, more athletic, just a ball player, you know.